Hey Dude,
The 90s Called.
with Christine Taylor and David Lascher.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hey Dude, The 90s Called podcast. I am David.
Hi, David. I'm Christine. It's good to see you. You're wearing a white hoodie and it looks great.
I know. I feel like I always wear black.
It feels so me too. I wore gray. I'm in between. I'm easing into spring. But you look very fresh and springy and bright.
Well, it's finally sunny here in LA. We literally had rain since January like you've never seen.
Well, it was every time I when I was out there for the couple days that I was out there, I guess that was before the holidays. It was a couple nice days, but everybody I know who has been out there since.
Yeah, it started in January.
Yes.
It did not stop. I mean, we had hail coming down for days. But yeah, it's spring and it's beautiful, and I am wearing white in honor of the new weather. Thank goodness.
Yes. I love it.
How's your week going?
The week is good. Yeah, all is good. I was looking through our comments, I have to say, and I'm not like stalking our account, but because we have been talking about it, first of all, and I know you said, where am I finding all these? And I don't know if you had time to look at any of the comments on Kel and Jody and over the last few posts, but there's great guest ideas. So we should look at that. But I really, before our guest comes on, and we should say, like, we are so excited to have David Faustino on.
Yes.
Iconic.
Bud Bundy.
90s dude, right?
Yeah.
But I have to say, before he comes on, David, I need to address one comment, and I was trying to find it because I wanted to give a shout out to whoever posted it. But have you gotten this a lot? People seem to think you look like Oscar De La Hoya.
Yes, I
Do you
saw
want to
a
speak
bunch.
to that? Do you want to speak to that?
I mean, it's a compliment for
It's a
sure.
great compliment.
Yeah, I don't fight like him, but he's a handsome, probably the most handsome fighter. I saw a bunch of Robert Downey Jr. comments. Maybe it was on Chelsea's TikTok page. She was like, people were saying, is her dad Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, interesting. Oh.
Iron Man came up a lot.
Yes, that's so interesting. Yeah, I've never. Now I'm looking at you in a very different way. I can see an Oscar De La Hoya essence. You know, you always have good color. You always are. You know, you always look like you have a nice tan.
Right.
I feel like from the time we met you, and you, like, we were always in the sun, obviously. Like you said, you have memories, and you sent me a picture recently of Kelly, or maybe it was Kelly and I, or it was me and your sister. And your mom,
laying at the pool. I was probably in tutoring, watching you guys from the window,
lounging poolside in the middle of the desert heat. Those were the days. But we really loved being in the sun. But you would get dark, really tan. Yeah.
If I'm out in the sun for 10 minutes, I get tan.
Yeah.
It's funny about Kel Mitchell when he mentioned online education, right?
On location education, right?
Yeah, those were our tutors on Hey Dude. I mean, such a
wait. You remember your tutor's name? What was Alan Simon?
Alan Simon.
Alan Simon. Yes, I had him for that.
He was a little dude. He was a short guy.
Alan Simon. Oh,
I will tell you this: I took AP Calculus in Tucson while we were shooting, and I got straight A's, and I got accused from Scarsdale High School of possibly cheating.
Wait.
Yeah,
what?
My dad went crazy and fought back hard. But I think it was because, it was like a one-on-one, it was good tutoring.
Yeah. I mean, I think in any of those subjects, if you have one-on-one direction, then that's a completely different story than, somebody teaching an entire class. I had to clear physics in my senior year, which was that was our first, 13 episodes when I was finishing out senior year. And I had a gem of a teacher who I went to and said, listen, this is how it's going to go. I am terrible at math and science. I killed myself in the high school to get good grades and to study. And I would work extra hard in chemistry. Like there's certain subjects that my brain just did not click with, and physics and chemistry. And that's just not how I operate. But I had this great teacher, Mr. Rosenberg, I think was his name.
What, in Tucson? A tutor?
No. My teacher in Allentown, at Allentown Central Catholic High School. Shout out to ACCHS.
Allentown.
Yep. And no, I remember saying, I'm going away to do this show. I know we're just in the very end of senior year and most of the work is done, but like, you gotta throw me a bone when it comes to getting me through physics. Like, please don't give him difficult things and difficult assignments for me to do, 3,000 miles away.
So you weren't doing blow up experiments in the Radisson Hotel tutor room?
No. And he was so great because I honestly, maybe Alan, our tutor, would remember, but I don't really even have a strong memory of doing much physics at all. I really think this teacher in Pennsylvania was so generous and was like, no, do what you're going to do. And I'll make sure you get through this class. Don't worry about it. So, right. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. Their hometown, America's Sweetheart got a TV show.
Yes. A TV show that no one would see for many years, really. But
I'm sure he's proud of you now though.
Yes.
Yeah, I went from a B student or B plus student to straight A's my senior year. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I get why they were suspicious, but we had 3 hours a day of tutoring one-on-one.
And that had to be, was it sort of, you did little chunks of all of your subjects every day, or you would pick, there would be one or two subjects on a certain day and then...
Oh, I don't remember that sort of detail, but
yeah.
I remember resenting having to, especially when you had graduated
yes.
and were laying by the pool, and I would look out the window of the tutor room like, oh, this is so unfair.
So unfair. Oh, man. Well, we should talk about our guest today.
Yeah, listen.
Give a nice little intro before he joins us. We're waiting to hear in our chat room of when he is here. So he should be here any minute. But I mean, Bud Bundy, like it is so 90s, right? Married with Children?
It was groundbreaking in the 90s. I mean, it made the Fox network. I mean, you were coming out of like the Reagan era of say no to drugs, family values, all this stuff. And then you get this family. And I just watched I watched the pilot, and then I watched the end season 11 finale.
Oh, the finale. Oh, oh, wow.
Where,
Season
Christina
11.
Applegate gets married. But it was like he ridicules his wife for not working. I mean, she should be in the kitchen making his food. It was so like almost like All in the Family. I know they had a lot of pushback, and they probably offended a lot of people, but a lot of people loved it. And I think it was time for that show. And it might be, we are in an environment right now where everything's so safe and so guarded that a show like that might actually just hit big.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to ask him, they must have been nervous about, just the offense and the chauvinism and, Ron Levitt, who created the show. I'll talk to David about this. I did a show with him as well, and he does not care. He's a very unique character and just doesn't, he doesn't care who he offends. He writes what he wants.
Oh, interesting.
And
what show did you do with him?
I did a pilot called How High about a stoner in high school. And Ben Stein was the teacher. Denise Richard played my girlfriend. Kevin Connolly was my best friend.
What? Kevin Connolly? Really?
Yeah. And
he's such a good friend of mine. Okay, yes.
So it was a pilot for Fox. We got picked up for like half a season. And Ron Levitt was already a multimillionaire, right, from Married with Children, and was so offended that Fox wouldn't give him a full season order that he told them to go F themselves and declined. And I was like, well, wait, what?
I have never heard of such a thing, ever.
He's a unique character, man. I don't
sounds like
even
a
know.
very, very healthy ego as well.
Well, listen, once you have your Married with Children, you know, your show that's 11 seasons in syndication, you have that freedom to go, you know what, you're insulting me. I literally made your network. Right. How dare you give me half a season?
Right.
But for me, I was like, oh God, can't we just try it for half a season, please?
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that show, I mean, I guess the Fox network at the time was very edgy, right? With The Simpsons, Tracy Ullman, In Living Color. They were the network that people went to if they had thick skin and wanted to see some edgy stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what, that's what gave the Ben Stiller show a season.
Wait.
Fox. They were dead last.
Ben show
after MTV
was on Fox?
After the MTV, where he originated it. But yes, they were on Fox.
Wow, they took a lot of chances, I got to say. I mean, nothing to do with their news division. I won't even talk about that. But their entertainment division in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, they had a lot of guts. Well,
yeah, it was Fox came at a time where there were really only the three big networks, right? So it became the fourth, and it took some years to really, sort of feel legitimate. It was always, because I even remember in our day, it was sort of like, I'm auditioning for, it's for Fox. It's a pilot for Fox. There was not as much cachet around if it was like a glitzy, glossy NBC or ABC show, and forget, again, we always joke about it, but that's why when it was Nickelodeon for us, when Nickelodeon was not the Nickelodeon it is today, you almost would say it apologetically. Like I actually, we were talking, I forget, but something came up, David, where we were talking about, did we ever get slimed? And I really feel like Nickelodeon treated us like we were sort of employees. We were not really their stars at first. Like it was sort of like they would have stars from other shows on to celebrate for the Kids' Choice Awards, but they would kind of put us in as doing, giving us tasks to do, like, okay, yeah, you'll present something or you'll do this, but we were not looked at really in the at the beginning of the show.
We were their guinea pigs.
Exactly.
And everybody, sort of came on our heels. But whatever, I'm proud of the work we did. And I think Nickelodeon is proud of the show. But yeah, they didn't know what it would be or what the network was at the time. And just like Fox, I mean, after Married with Children, or like Nickelodeon after Hey Dude, people started to fall in line and go, okay, there's an audience here. People want to see this kind of content.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's welcome our guest, David Faustino.
Yes, he's here.
What's up? What's up?
Dude, you look exactly the same. I got to say, it's unbelievable.
Wow. Thank you.
You really do.
I'll take that with a grain of salt.
No, it's a compliment. And also David Lascher and I were talking about before you came on that we can't believe like neither of us really knew you back then. Like it wasn't like any of us really traveled in the same circles and you were working nonstop and very busy, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
What were you doing before you got that iconic show, Married with Children? You were acting. You grew up in LA, or what was your background?
Okay, so basically, my father was a costumer at a famous, very very famous costume house called Western Costume Company.
Of course.
Oh wow!
Deep in the valley. Yep.
No, well,
no.
Yeah, Pre that.
Oh,
He had to go there too. That's
right.
when he hated it. But pre that, they were in where Paramount is now, knocked the building down. So he was a costumer, and the long story short, my older brother, who's just a gorgeous little kid, he was just beautiful. He's like, is he a girl? Is he a boy? One of those kids, you know. And some producer was in my dad's office looking at clothing and said, "My God, this kid's gorgeous. I want to use him for my commercial." And then that happened, and then he got booked more work, and then that's just how we all fell into it through my dad being a costumer, and we started the whole thing, the acting classes, the dancing classes, the whole thing. We just went. My mom kind of took it on as her job.
So you did it together with your brother, your older brother. You both kind of got put in.
My older brother, he started to sort of get out of it earlier on. He's 11 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so he started to get into music a lot more and touring, and he's got 2 Emmys, and he does the sound for American Idol and The Voice and everything.
Wow, that's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's one success story in our family.
Oh, come on. Come on now.
He's got 2 friggin' Emmys. I'm like, damn, man, you really beat me to the punch there. So, and at least one of us has an Emmy. But so he went on to do great things, as well as so then it was my little brother, myself, and my sister that are closer in age that were, doing auditioning together and leaving school like right after. And the things you do miss out on, quite honestly, that are important to children. And I'm not going to cry the whole story, but you miss out on sports. You don't get to play on the teams. Because
the teams.
Practices. The auditions are after school. That's when you do them. Mom shows up. And I remember a lot of times when you'd have an audition, it was okay, because sometimes it was a callback that you'd be excited about and you really wanted a project. But sometimes, man, that car would pull up and she'd be like, "You have an audition," and you just wanted to stay and play with your friends and be on the football team or learn basketball better or. So I suffered in that area. That's the only area that I really kind of look back on and wish I had, I don't know,
a little more of a traditional childhood, or at least moments of that. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. My life was tremendous. I've had the most amazing experiences that anybody could ever wish for. I've traveled the whole world and got to take my mother across the world and
so you wouldn't go back and do it any differently. I mean, there's no regrets.
Hell no. Not when I see what it. Life is hard, man. Life is hard enough. Life is difficult, and you see, it's hard to make your way in the world. And so my mother, God bless her soul, really. What's the word I'm looking for? She really, what is it? She really went for it. She really went for my career and really helped me go for it. And because of that, she made a mark, and I made a splash, and I got to do something special that made millions and millions of people laugh. And that's something that a lot of people don't get to do. And if I do nothing else in my life, I did that.
Yeah,
so
listen, being on a soccer team is one thing, but being on part of that cast was one of the greatest teams in the history of entertainment, right? So you had that team camaraderie and
wonderful analogy, David. Wonderful analogy. I love it.
Not bad.
It's perfect. I liked it. I'll take it.
I'll take that.
Same. I thought that was perfect, David. I love it.
You can't do everything, right? I mean, your kid, eventually you have to pick one sport, pick one team, or your kid's into art or acting or music or whatever. Right. At some point you choose a path, and my gosh, did it work out for you? let's go back to like, the late 80s, right before, coming out of that Reagan era and the Nancy Reagan say no to drugs and family values. And it was a very conservative time, right, with AIDS, and there was no promiscuous sex. And all of a sudden this Fox network and this show, which, I mean, I watched the pilot today.
That's a good pilot.
Dude, it literally
That's a good
gives
pilot.
the curse finger to all the family values. This is a blue collar guy who hates his wife, ridicules her for not working, can't stand his kids. I mean,
and it's cool because it's in the earlier seasons when he's really just angry, so much angrier. He started to get a little more buffoonish as you go on to like season 5, 6, and go on. But like in the earlier seasons, he's just pissed off,
And you're just asking him for money. That's pretty much all your interaction.
Yeah. So I don't mean my character. I mean.
You're right. Ed O'Neill. Yeah.
Al. What were you nervous about how it might offend people? I mean, was that an issue at the time?
I wasn't, but the talk was just so like, everybody was like, oh my God. And all you would hear is the adults talking about how risque it was, and are we going to be able to get away with this? And I start the show. I'm 12, going on 13. I'm like 3 months away from turning 13.
Right, a little bit preteen, yeah.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I didn't get half the jokes that were. I mean, especially not just the sex jokes and things like that, but just marriage jokes themselves.
Of course.
Now I go back and I watch the show. Being married with children.
A whole new perspective.
I laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
This hit the nail on the head, right?
It did. And there's so many other things that made the show funny. But, those are new jokes I'm understanding now,
What a great cast. I mean, you guys were, it was an all-star team. And my gosh, 11 seasons. How many episodes? 250 something episodes?
260, something like
Crazy.
that. Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, listen, the world was ready for it, even though I think it was very risky for Fox, right? They put it all on the line. They were either going to live or die by this sort of edgy material, with In Living Color and The Simpsons, and the world was ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Was it an instant success? Was it sort of, did it hit right away, or it was a slow burn?
It was a very slow burn because, as he mentioned, the show, it was in a few markets. It wasn't all over the place.
Is that true that it was only in a few markets?
Yes,
I had no idea.
We were like 75-78%.
Like big major cities, probably, right? Just
yes, and so, and not only that, it was like this weird Tracy Ullman show that was coming on with these weird characters that never went anywhere. I mean, those cartoon characters never went anywhere.
Longest running show in history.
billions later. It didn't catch on. It was a slow burn, but Fox, God bless them, they kept it going. Because they believed in they believed in the writers. Michael, by the way, I want to mention Michael Moy and Ron Levitt, who are the creators of the show and are two just of the greatest guys in the world. Ron has passed, but Michael, I'm talking to now, he's helping coaching me through a script that I'm writing.
Oh wow,
fantastic!
And it's really cool. Yeah, it's like I email him and. He's a pretty cynical dude, and it's fun just like talking to him again, and just a great guy. So what was my point in leading up to the two guys?
That Fox really believed in the writers and the show
as a team, and they believed in how funny it was, and they were coming to the run-throughs and they were coming to the read-throughs and they were laughing their asses off.
Right, funny is funny.
Laughing their asses off, and they wanted it to succeed. And the bottom line is the bottom line. They kept it going, and then all of a sudden, you may or not know this story, but a woman named Terry Rakolta. You don't know the story by the reaction of your faces.
No.
She was a billionaire's wife in Michigan, and she had a lot of political connections. And about season 3 of the show, she walks into her living room where her children are gathered around the television watching this horrific, offensive show where people are talking about sex and right in front of their children and just, God and fat people. And it goes on and on and on, how it went. And she was just appalled, offended, and disgusted. So she spent the next 6 months to a year pulling sponsors and doing it well. She pulled McDonald's.
What?
She pulled Coca-Cola. She pulled, I can't remember what the other 2, 3 huge sponsors were. But guess what happened? The next Sunday, the ratings jumped by 1 billion% because everybody had to know what this show we were
right. You tell people they can't watch something, they're going to want to watch.
Everybody was watching it, and it shocked the companies, it shocked the network, it shocked the
oh man,
the sponsors.
Her plan backfired.
And then Ron Levitt and Michael Moy sent her a big giant lovely thank you basket. Thank you so much for getting our show out there and really being seen. We appreciate it. And
that's funny.
Right. And she gave you free publicity, basically.
Dude, it's like you said, tell people something they can't do.
Right.
Absolutely.
They want to know right away why they can't do it, at least.
Let me tell you, and I spoke to Christine about this quickly before you were on. I did a pilot for Ron Levitt. It was called How High, about a stoner in high school for Fox. Denise Richards played my girlfriend. Kevin Connolly was my best friend.
Oh, yeah, Kevin.
Ben Stein was the teacher.
I love Kevin.
I love Kevin.
Kevin's
Shout out to
amazing.
Kevin. We love Kevin.
Kevin Connolly, we love you. And Ron Levitt, we got picked up for half a season. I guess, right. I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes. Or 11. Ron Levitt was so insulted that the Fox network didn't give us a full season that he told them to go themselves and turned his back on the whole thing. And I remember calling him dude, let's just try this. And he goes, I made that network.
Yeah.
That guy was so hardcore
and
so funny.
And he was also and I have $1 trillion. So
yes, David prefaced it with me.
Right.
David told me that story.
I did not have $1 trillion.
Yeah.
But man, was he funny and just there was no censor at all.
Funniest man.
Did you guys click right off the bat? I mean, the cast, because the chemistry was obvious, but did you guys just kind of click together right off the bat?
I would say yes, man. I mean, so just a story that most people don't know when I tell them this, is that I auditioned for the show and got, I think, 1 callback. So they actually shot the pilot with 2 other actors playing Bud and Kelly. And so we reshot it with just our parts. Which were minimal actually in the pilot.
They kept the rest of the pilot and just shot
the stuff with you and Christina.
You and Christina. Wow.
That's it. Because there wasn't a lot. If you look at the pilot, there wasn't that much for the kids. It was a lot of Al and Peg. It was a lot of Stephen Marcy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also, they're trying to find the characters and which way they were going to go. Was it going to be kind of was it going to be the parents and the neighbors and the kids kind of came in and out? Was it going to be the family unit? They were trying to figure that all out. And they soon found that Christina and I had chops, and they, started writing a lot more for us, a lot more. And it miffed David Garrison a bit. And he's the only guy I would say, talk about, because instead of sticking around a show that is about to just go bonkers with success, because they were writing so much more for Christina and I, and sort of the neighbors didn't have as much all the time. Sometimes they did, but they didn't all the time. And he thought that they should be writing more for him, and he decided to leave the show. Season 3. Season 3. He had do the math. What is that? He had 8 more seasons to go.
Wow.
Money to make.
I love, though, that the kids weren't just the token kids who came in and out. You guys had your own storylines. Everybody was it was a real ensemble.
Yeah, they did a great job at writing for people. And the other great thing they did, which a lot of writers do on other sitcoms and shows, but they did a great job of taking our insecurities and sort of poking fun at them and bringing them in the fold, you know, and with Amanda with her chicken legs, me with my love of hip hop and the making fun of me with the Grandmaster B, my height, you know, the whole thing. They would find their ways, and they
right.
did it
And Christina,
well.
they basically, you know, treated like a very promiscuous sexual teenager.
They sure did.
Do you guys all keep in touch?
We do, very much so, actually. I talked to, I don't talk to David Garrison as much.
Right.
He's on the East Coast. We're very cordial. I just, you know, I don't really see him. You know, Katie, I don't see as much either, only because she's got her family, she's got kids, she's, you know. But Ed, I talk to at least twice a week. And
that's amazing.
At least. And they're the funniest conversations, because they go something like this. How are you doing? And what's going on? Oh, I'm doing fine, blah, 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 blah. And then he starts his story. How is he doing? And I could literally put the phone down for a half hour.
He just talks.
And I could just pick it back up, and he'd still be going on about what he's up to.
Sofia Vergara is driving me crazy.
He's hilarious. He loves to just, he's so funny. He's like talking to an old lady. Like he loves to just, he just loves to like go down the line and sort of gossip about each person. Oh, remember,
funny.
even go back. He likes to even go back to the Married with Children days.
Oh, stop.
And
That's
pick apart like
hysterical.
crew members that we remember being
my gosh.
just out there and bizarre and having like weird quirks, and he still to this day likes making fun of them. and
That's
it's
beautiful that you guys still have like a father-son sort of relationship. I mean,
we do. He's really
awesome.
wonderful. And we're also gearing up to do this apparent
animated
show. So we've been talking a lot about that, and the, you know, getting prepared to either do it or not, depending on what, you know, if it goes or not.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be dope. And while some people feel a repulsion toward the animated version of it, and I can understand it, because I had it for a second too. But if you think about the day and age that we're living in and the climate that we're living in with comedy and entertainment, there's a lot more you can get away with behind a cartoon character than you can with a human right now.
Right. Like
And
Family Guy, what Seth MacFarlane's doing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that team is part of this team, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, like, there are no blue collar shows anymore. I mean, after you guys and Roseanne, it's all like Gossip Girl and the OC and the Housewives, and everyone's rich living in a $50 million apartment. Like, where's the shoe salesman? Where's the regular?
Where's humanity?
Right.
Where's the rest of the country?
Right.
Real life. Where's real life? Yeah.
Unrepresented, man. I think it's a good time for it. And I think, you know, just like when Married with Children came out, it was also a very conservative time. I think it's time for somebody to come out and push the envelope again.
Yeah, I do too. And to do it behind cartoon characters. And the cool idea that I heard, which I like, is that they're bringing it into a 2023, 24 world whenever it comes out, with us as the ages we were then. So
that's interesting. You're sort of trapped in your era, right?
Yeah,
You're sort of trapped in right?
this. Yeah. So I don't know. There's something interesting to that I thought was kind of funny, and there's some other ideas that they're putting forth that I think are creative and cool, and it would be a great fun gig to just do. We all get together in a little studio. We do it from our home studios, or whatever.
I mean, doesn't it sound like an ideal gig to do? Let me
tell you something about voiceover. Let me tell you something about voiceover. As you guys know, are probably well aware.
I wish I knew more. Yes.
I'm not wearing pants right now.
Yeah. I'm completely naked from the shirt down. There's just something tremendous about it. I used to like have because I've had a great, I've been so blessed to have a tremendous voiceover career for like going on 20 years now. And it's basically saved me and bring me a lot of opportunity. And I used to like look at it as like the little stepchild of acting, of being on set. And I was like hard on myself that, I'm only booking voiceover jobs. I'm not really booking as many on-camera jobs. And like now that I have kids and I've matured, the money that you can make on doing campaigns, which I've had 2 of, and I do cartoons, and I get to be home. I get to see my kids. I'm not on set for 12 hours. I'm available.
You have a home recording studio in your house?
I do. I have,
it's great.
Vocalbooth.com, baby.
The best job in the world.
Have you ever seen their stuff? I'm not to do a commercial for them, but they don't.
They come to your house and set up like a.
Dude, it sounds so cheesy. I hate the name. They do the most dude. Go on vocalbooth.com when you're off of this. And
he's writing it. Yes, we will both do that.
Look at what they have to offer. I mean, you can start small and you can go all the way. And it's the most beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful booths. And it was the best investment I made. And I made it right before COVID hit, not knowing it was coming.
Oh my God, perfect timing.
David, maybe that will be our way into the voiceover world. If we build it, it will come to us.
If you call vocalbooth.com and they're overpriced, workers, then they'll come install it. But they're gorgeous, but they're definitely a pretty penny. But
I mean, Christine, Jason Willinger, right? One of my best friends is one of the top voiceover guys, and he lives on the Upper East Side of New York. He turned a closet into, a state-of-the-art studio, and he does
everything out of there.
Movie promos, commercials, whatever. I mean, he's working all day long out of his freaking closet.
So great.
Yeah. As long as you know what you're doing, and obviously he does, and you're completely, you've got that sound and you've got it locked in perfectly. It doesn't matter. You could be surrounded by underwear. It doesn't matter if you have it. I don't have those skills, so I had to have them come build this thing, and I like it. It's kind of sexy, and I can fit a couple people in there. So sometimes I'll do a podcast or an interview or a radio show or something like that in there, and I enjoy it.
Awesome. And you DJ, yes?
I do. Yeah.
My notes show that you had a nightclub called Ballistics.
Yeah.
And Will.i.am says, because of you and your club, he was able to meet Eazy-E and sign with Ruthless Records.
And we're making it's funny you bring it up because we've shot the documentary. It's in the can. It's literally being edited now. Will is in it. Taboo's producing it with me. We've got everybody that was anybody at that club that became, from The Alchemist to Scotty Conn to Be Real to NWA. I mean,
Oh,
Oh my
So-
god!
so cool.
Wow. What year? What year was that? Like
91.
early
So
'90s.
NWA really brought a lot to it because we used one of their DJs named DJ Speed, and he was really one of the closest with Eric, with Easy. So he would bring him to the club every week. And so because of that, it became this kind of, and it was the first hip hop club on the Sunset Strip. Before that, you had to hip hop was relegated to, you had to go, you had to go deep in the hood to listen to hip hop.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone's basement. Right. So you were like a showcase
So what happened
for
was,
talent.
I don't want to mention my 4 partners because they deserve to be mentioned. Myself, Robert Gavin, Dan Eisenstein, and Lou Adler's son, Nick Adler, who owned the whiskey at the time. So he was able to talk his partners into giving us Thursday night, much to their chagrin, because they were giving up a lot of alcohol money because we now have minors in the place. But dude, it took off into the biggest, like, craziest. We had a line that went from the whiskey, and this is documented, from the whiskey, stopped next street all the way up to the Roxy. And this went on for months and months and months, for years. It went on for 3 years. And we had some of the most tremendous performers. Watching Will I Am, who, by the way, most people don't know is a battle rapper. He's not a poppy guy. He went that route. He started as a battle rapper. And when I say that, I want to say that with every like fiber of my being. Dude, he for months on end, anybody who tried to step to him was just annihilated in the most brutal way. And one of the funny stories is there was Will's manager now, Polo, wanted to mess with them. This is before he signed him. He wanted to mess with him. So they had this young kid who had a dope flow, but didn't write his own lyrics. But they had another guy who was an amazing writer write all of his lyrics for him, and they pre-wrote it, dissing Will. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
that's
So
cheating.
this is where it gets great. So, and Will's no dummy. Will's one of the smartest cats I
Right.
know. Okay, he's one of the smartest guys I know. So they write this diss rap, and it's good, and this kid delivers it, and he wins. It's the only time in history that Will lost that battle, and he was pissed off because he knew they did. So he comes back the next week, and this little kid's now the winner, and they had a new rhyme wrote for him. Will wasn't having it. Will took this kid, this poor kid, this little 10-year-old kid, just to pieces. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't start crying, because I would.
Is that in the documentary? Did someone film
We
that?
don't have that piece in it, but we do have some great pieces. We have some pieces from Entertainment Tonight. We have backstage footage. I mean, we have some really great stuff, but I wish we had that. But we do have some of him battling, and Will I Am is one of the greatest artists of our time. One of the most ahead of his time artists of all time, and I royally respect him. To the fullest extent.
I agree.
What is the name of the documentary?
Ballistics.
It's Ballistics. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're close. I mean, we went from a 3-hour edit down to a 95-minute edit. We're getting there.
Awesome.
It sounds like it's going to be amazing. What shows do you watch now? I mean, you watch any sitcoms, or are you into any shows?
I'm not really watching
right now?
sitcoms. I don't know. I actually just restarted watching The Sopranos again, man. I wanted a little bit of like nostalgia, and I don't know. It's a comfort show for me.
All right. Ironically,
it really is.
Gangsters comfort you.
It really is. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, you're in there watching people blow each other's brains out, and you're laughing your balls off, and I'm like, sorry. It's just
it puts you quietly to bed.
Yes. Yeah.
Very but it's amazing the work that's being done in television, I think. I mean, looking back at the 90s, it was film and it was TV.
Yeah.
And now I feel like the best, the greatest auteurs and directors and actors are working in TV.
100,000%. 100,000%. I haven't been watching many movies at all. I know this weekend my daughter is going to force me to watch Avatar, the Way of the Water, which I mean, I'm sure it's a good movie. It's 3 hours and 12 minutes.
It's a commitment, right? it's a commitment.
I saw 3 hours and 12 minutes. I went, whoa. She wanted to watch it the other night. I was like, no, this is a weekend movie.
It's a weekend movie. And you should plan some, mini intermissions, snack breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Get the popcorn
give yourself a couple.
I was like, well, let's not rush this. Let's enjoy this.
But also the streamers, like Married to Children is on Hulu.
Yeah.
So like a whole new generation, another generation can watch it. My daughter was home from college. She's like, I'm knee deep into Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's one of my favorite shows. So like there's these shows can keep getting audiences into perpetuity.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful to be part of it and to allow it, like you said, to be seen by new audiences, able to find it and it's on Apple TV, it's on everything.
Yeah, and it's really a time capsule, right? Like if you want to know what comedy was like at that time, you guys were you were breaking the ground.
That and The Sopranos, best comedy on TV. Would you agree that Sopranos is a little bit of a comedy or not?
Oh my God, there were so many funny moments in it.
Okay, thank God.
This is where I have to crawl under.
With people.
I've never watched it. I haven't seen it.
It's more of a comedy than it is.
Wait, hold on.
Would you agree with
Christine?
No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I will. I'm sorry.
I'm actually jealous.
It's the best written.
That's what I've heard from people.
It's the best written show, best written soap opera on television.
Christine, it's all about family. I mean, it's not a gangster show. It's a family show.
It's one of those shows that it was like I missed it when it started, and then it got too far in, and then it was like spoilers everywhere, and I was like, I got to just start fresh.
How did Ben allow you not to watch it?
I've never seen it.
They take this group of sociopaths and they break it down too from a level that's up here with the therapists and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest show you've ever seen.
Well, maybe that will be our summer binge. Like that will be, because you're inspiring me. It's been on my list. It's one of those things where it feels a little overwhelming, a little daunting. And but
you know what? I also feel like the artwork for a lot of people was what's the word? Put off. They're mugging faces. It kind of didn't. I don't know how to explain it. I think it turned a lot of women off in a way. It wasn't.
Well, they were real. I mean, the characters were real. And Paulie Walnuts was like an actual. Yeah, I mean, it's like Scorsese does in his movies. They're like real people.
Of course.
Yeah. That guy Roast Beef. It was in Goodfellas.
I mean, for me, it's Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Mad Men.
Yeah,
I mean,
my wife got really into Mad Men. I didn't get it.
I never saw Mad Men either, but Breaking Bad and The Wire. Right. I'm with you. I love The Wire. I love The Wire. Yes.
The greatest.
Love The Wire. Love The Wire.
Like, did you know? I didn't. Did you guys know Idris Elba was English at the time of the show?
I didn't start watching it until after I started Luther. So I did know. I watched The Wire. I wasn't watching it in real time. So I knew I was impressed.
When you first watched The Wire, did you watch it in the beginning, like when it first came out?
No. People told me for 10 years you got to watch it.
Too bad because, dude, not knowing Idris Elba is an Englishman and his ability to do that perfect Baltimore street accent, that he played that character so impeccably well, including the accent, including everything about it.
That character
was perfection. So imagine my shock when I watched him on an interview and this English accent came out. I was like, because with a lot of actors, some, there's the Peter Dinklage English accent. He can get away with that one. But like watching
his Game of Thrones accent, yes.
I have not seen Game of Thrones.
What?
I will admit that. I've never seen Game of
I
Thrones.
love Game of Thrones.
That's
another world. Yes.
But I was just in shock. He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Well, listen, we're talking about shows that will be in the history books of TV, and Married with Children certainly as a comedy is in that realm, and it's got to. I mean, dude, you're an icon, and the show is one of the greatest of all time. And I'm good luck with the reboot.
Yes, we can't wait for that. Yes, keep our fingers crossed. We will.
I
think it's gonna happen. It's the thing. It's this.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Right now, someone needs Ron Levitt, or I wish Ron was here.
Right.
Yes, someone needs those guys to just start shaking things up again.
Yep. All right,
it was awesome having you.
David,
thank you so much.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for having me.
So fun.
All right.
Awesome, buddy.
Take good care. Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye.
What a cool dude, right?
It's so cool and fun for us, the three of us, to go on that sort of trip down memory lane of shows and what we think are the greatest shows. That's what I love about podcasts is we'll go on a tangent. But yeah, what really got me was the love for his mama. And you can tell that he just has these incredible memories. And I feel like the guests we've had, since we've had quite a few child actors, not young ones, except for Jodie last week, but we've been really fortunate in the guests we've had have all had really solid parents who were supporters and champions of these, young actors in their careers. And he was no exception. And it really, he's, very self-effacing about, what he's achieved in the show he was on. And, but it was fun. That was a really fun interview.
Yeah. He honestly has not aged at all. Like he literally looks like he did 30 years ago. He's still, with the
cap,
with the big brim and
exactly.
the hip hop attitude, the tats up his arm.
That documentary sounds amazing though.
Yeah,
really
well, listen, I remember seeing Faustino out, when I was in my 20s.
In that era, yeah.
On Sunset, there was the Viper Room.
Yep.
There was the Whiskey, the Roxy, and then I don't know if I ever went to his club, but
Ballistic, yeah.
Ballistics, yeah. I want to watch that documentary.
Yeah,
that looks
sounds
amazing.
Awesome. Well, it was another great week, another great episode, and we have a very exciting guest coming up next week. So so tune back in.
She will be a very good friend of the show.
You've already hinted with the she.
Shoot. All right, it's a she.
Boy.
All right.
Boy. Start your guesses now, folks.
All right. Christine, great show.
Yes, great show. We'll see you all very soon.
Yes, thank you for listening, and have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe and give us 5 stars.
And please follow us on Instagram at HeyDude, the 90s Called. See you next time.